What's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to fix your supply and demand trading. Okay, I'm going to show you the exact tips and tools that I use to increase my win percentage and my risk reward using supply and demand, how to trade it the right way and how to have it work out for you 9 times out of 10. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Visa, okay, as an example. Now, the way that I typically trade supply and demand, the way that it's typically taught, is that, let me just show you for an example here. We have the supply zone on Visa, right? So we have this move up, the supply zone forms, fast move lower, we come back, we test it, we have a little bit of reaction, and then we end up breaking through it, right? Now, what is the one thing that a lot of supply and demand people tell you to do? Is that when price comes back into that zone, that's when you want to get in. And technically, yes, but if you want to have a much better win percentage, you want to have a much better trading performance, what you want to do is actually wait. And you want to wait for confirmation, right? And one of the ways that we wait for confirmation is simply by seeing what price wants to do. Okay, guys, price is going to tell you what it wants to do. And then you just wait for it to happen and then get inside a pullback. Okay, now let me break that down, right? That was a little confusing. So we can see, let me go ahead and look at SCHW, all right? So we see here on the daily chart, right, we have this daily demand zone. Price comes down, we have 2 candles of consolidation, we have that fast move higher, we consolidate up here, we come back down, and we end up bouncing right from it, okay? Now, like I said, yes, you definitely could have got in right as price touches that demand, put your stop right below the low, and target, somewhere all the way up here. It would have been a very, very solid, very, very good trade. But there are a lot of times where supply and demand zones will break, and one of the ways that I use to make sure that I am on the right side more often than not is simply by waiting. And you can do that by just looking at the reaction, right? So when I see SCHW, right, this is a daily demand zone. Okay, and so what I'll do is when price comes down and hits that zone, I'll zoom in on like a 15, even a 5-minute time frame, okay? Sometimes even a 1 minute. And you basically want to do is just wait and see what is the reaction, okay? Is price consolidating at that demand? Is price bouncing right from it at that demand? Is price, did we make a sharp move up and then we immediately came back down and now it's consolidating here? Did price come all the way down to the bottom of that demand zone? Okay, these are all the things that you need to consider after price hits your zone. And the best way to know if price is going to react good from it is how fast it reacts and in which direction, right? So let me show you an example, right? If price, this is our demand zone, right? And price is coming down into our demand, right? If price comes right down here and we spend, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours consolidating in that zone, that is not a good sign, okay? That means that price is likely to actually fall through and not work in that demand zone, right? Versus if price were to do something like this, we come back down and hit demand, we immediately see that fast move higher, fast explosion right out of that zone. That's a much better opportunity and a much better confirmation and confidence that we know price can pull back and look for another move higher, okay? So when we see that, that's how we want to take advantage of this, all right? Now let me show you an example. All right, so SCHW, we're in a 5-minute, okay? So price comes in, we even zoom in on a 1 minute, right? We can go smaller time frame. All right, so the first initial reaction we see out of this demand zone is that price comes down, we hit that demand, we immediately rocket higher in the first minute, okay? Then we end up pulling back, and we end up shooting higher again, okay? Now, after seeing this, now we know supply and demand is going to work. But I know you're thinking, Jordan, but you missed the move. Price is all the way up here, right? And now we have demand all the way down here, right? I don't want to be putting my stop. I don't want to be buying up here, putting my stop all the way down here. I can't get a good risk reward. I can't get a good trade-off. I understand that. So what you do is you simply just wait for supply and demand to form on the smaller time frame after price has shown you that the zone is valid and that the zone works and that zone is going to hold. So right here, right? Now, obviously, this one would have worked out where you could have got in right at demand, but by using this confirmation, you can say, wait, price comes back down, and we have this huge move higher, right? At this point in time, when price is all the way up here, we have a lot more confidence that price is going to continue higher, right? So we see that demand held, we got above the supply, and why wouldn't price go higher, right? There's a lot of strength. There's a lot of buyers coming in, and we know that price can move higher based off this analysis. So after seeing that, all we need to do is say, okay, let's look, wait for a pullback, and get in and ride the wave, okay? And on this 1 minute time frame here, you can see this 1 minute demand zone forms right here. Price comes back down into it, we end up going all the way higher, right? So now all of a sudden, right, instead of risking, what is this, almost a $1 on the stock, SCHW, you've gone from risking $1 to risking, what is this, about 24 cents, so a quarter of the move. And you're still going to get a very solid risk reward. You can still get a very good trade. Like this one ended up going 8R if you caught the top, right? So very, very solid move. Now let me show you another example of when it wouldn't work out, right, on Amazon. And an example of why you need to do this, okay? Let me show you Amazon here. All right, let me get rid of this. Let me just show you this zone here. So we have an hourly supply zone right here, okay? Right, so price, just a quick analysis, comes down. We have a consolidation. We have this fast move lower. Price comes down into our supply. We have a small reaction. We end up zipping right through it, right? So let's say we're swing trading, right? You see prices in a downtrend. We have this low, this high, this low. We're looking for another leg lower, okay? So in this situation, let's say we'd be looking for targets all the way down here. All right, target is down at this low, and we're looking to get in short right at this supply. So we're looking to sell right at this supply, and our stop would be right above this high here, all right? Now, in this trade, obviously it wouldn't have worked out, right? If we got in right at the supply, right, put our stop above there, targeted all the way down here, even if we targeted like this demand right here, we wouldn't even gotten 2R. This trade would not have worked out, right? It ripped right through us. We would have gotten stopped out. So what can we do to help navigate the situation? Well, what we can do is zoom in and look at the reaction. If we look at the reaction, we zoom in on like a 15-minute, right? We see price comes up. We hit supply. We do reject it. We do come down. But price never really breaks demand. We don't really see fast moves, right? Price kind of comes down. We consolidate for another day. We come back, we test it again, consolidate again. We test it again, consolidate, right? We're just seeing a lot of consolidation right at that zone. So if you go back to remember what I was saying, right, we'll do a demand example. If price is coming down to demand, we only see a little bit of reaction, and we spend the rest of the time just consolidating right above or right inside that zone, that is not good, okay? That means price is probably going to move lower. And in this case, with supply, that gives us an opportunity that says price is going to move higher, right? So when price ends up doing this, and yes, we do get a small reaction, right? We could have, looked for a quick short, right, to target this 93 area. But if we're looking for that move lower, like we're looking for a very solid risk reward, right, in a downtrend, we're looking for targets all the way down here, you simply got to wait for that reaction. And by waiting and seeing, okay, price is now consolidating, right? There's nothing telling me that there's a lot of strong sellers in here. Then I simply don't take the trade. I don't take it short, right? If price were to do something like this, where we come up, we see this fast reaction lower, then I could say, okay, let me wait and see if I can get a pullback for move lower, right? And the thing with this also is you're not looking to get the entire move, right? Trading is not about taking this entire move, right? All you're trying to do is get a piece of it, right? If I can catch, just this piece of, this entire move here, I'm happy with that. Right? I don't need to catch the entire move. Trading is about getting a piece of it and having an edge in your strategy, in your plan. And so by doing this, by simply waiting and letting price tell you what it wants to do, you're going to end up with a lot better results. Let me show you another example. Right? Let's take a look at Boeing. We go to Boeing on the, where is it? Over here on the 4-hour chart, or 3-hour chart. Right? We have this demand zone right here. Right? So price comes down. We have this consolidation, we have that fast move higher, right? We make that next leg up higher up here, and then price comes back down. And what do we notice when price comes down, right? We zoom in on a smaller time frame, we'll look at a 30-minute, and price comes down, and we don't see any good reaction out of that demand, right? Price comes down, we come in it, we spend a lot of time inside this demand, right? We get a small bounce higher, come back, small bounce higher, right? Then we end up dumping right through. We end up gapping down the next day, right? And so by looking and waiting and just seeing what price wants to do, you're simply giving yourself a much better advantage in this trade, right? If price comes all the way down, we see a fast move like this, then I can wait for a pullback to catch the next leg higher, right? I don't need to always catch the exact supply demand zone, right? If I'm buying every single supply zone, if I'm buying every single demand zone and shorting every single supply zone, it's not going to work, right? What you want to do is wait for that reaction and only take the best setups. And understanding the idea of that price is, spending a lot of time inside that zone, that is not a good sign. That means there are not strong buyers in this area, right? If there were strong buyers, then price would be rooting higher, right? Price would be skyrocketing higher, okay? And so simply by waiting and letting price tell you what it wants to do, you're going to end up with much better results, right? Let me show you Etsy. Etsy on the daily chart, right? Let's say we're looking for a swing trade. Let's say this is our original trade right here, right? This is our supply zone. We're looking to get in short, put our stop above the high, target down at this low here, right? Obviously, yes, we could take this trade, right? But if we simply wait and see, okay, let's let price tell us what it wants to do. We say, okay, price comes all the way up. We see that fast rejection lower, right? We barely scrape that supply, and we come immediately down, breaking demand in the process. Okay, that is a very strong signal. That is telling us that there are strong sellers in this area. And when price is all the way down here, you may be thinking, well, you missed the move. Like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Don't worry. You just simply wait for a pullback. And pullbacks aren't always going to come. However, sometimes they will. And when they do, that's when you want to strike. That's when you want to take advantage and actually take the trade. And you can see here, if we draw in another hourly supply zone right here, we get a beautiful reaction right up to it. Right? So you easily could have said, okay, I'm just going to wait for price to come back, get in short, target down here, right? Maybe you wouldn't even miss this supply zone. Maybe you would have said, okay, I know that there's strong sellers in this area here, right? That this zone was able to break this demand zone, right? We got below it. So I know that there's a lot of strong sellers in this area, which means I am expecting price to stay below this level, right? So a logical place to put my stop would be up here. With that information in my head, I can say, okay, well, we have a smaller supply zone right here, right? We have this drop-based drop supply zone right here. So what I could say, I could set up a trade where I'm getting short at the supply, putting my stop above that high, targeting down at the lows. It's a 1.5 hour trade, okay? Again, I'm only catching a piece of the move. I'm not getting from this high all the way down to this low. Right? I'm only taking a piece of the move. And by doing that, you're going to give yourself a much better risk reward and a much better win percentage. You're going to win a lot more trades simply by waiting, being patient, and letting the price tell you what it wants to do. Okay? Now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys found this helpful and you're looking to get one-on-one coaching with me, I have a private mentorship group that you can apply to using the first link in the description below. I don't give out any alerts. I don't give out any signals at all. I give you my proven strategies and also work with you one-on-one to make sure you become a self-sufficient and consistently profitable trader in just 8 weeks. Okay, so if you're interested in that, click the first link in the description. You can go ahead and apply, check out the results I've gotten for some of my students. With that being said, guys, please subscribe, please like, leave a comment below other videos I should make, and I'll see you all in the next one.